Figured I'd do a little quick update on these. Hopefully you guys appreciate these. I know some people were asking for specific boots and updates, but I figured I'd do another one on these. These are the Domepro that some of you may remember from 2023. It was a kind of a quick run that Nix was doing for the Thunderdome, where they were giving you some options, but you had to order it within a quick window, and then they shut it down. But it had a quick turnaround. It wasn't any kind of a discount, like a sale price. It was more about being expedited. Like you order them and you get them before the Thunderdome. To me, I don't care about the Thunderdome. That's not my thing. I like to have a lot worth. I wear a bunch of boots and don't beat them up too much. And with rotating through them all, they would never get a lot of patina anyway. Plus, I don't want to wear just one boot and get tons of sweat and mold in them or something because you wear the same one every day. It never can dry out. I have fundamental disagreements with that whole thing. Plus, it turned out to be a bunch of faux tina and dudes sanding their boots and a bunch of garbage. So anyway, that's another story. These were the Domepro Wickett and Craig English Bridle Tan. They had also, I think, 64 tan, which is like a yellow tan, and I think there was one other leather option, maybe a British tan Chrome XL or something. They're having things that would patina well, so they're all lighter colors. I had always wanted this Wickett and Craig English Bridle Tan, but their normal Wickett and Craig, or at least back at that time last year in 2023, you basically couldn't option 67, the 11067 last on any Wickett and Craig because they had issues with vamps being torn when they were lasting over the big toe there, or the toe box. And the sprung toe, I guess, was a problem for them, so they just stopped doing it, which I get it. You're wasting product and losing money. But for whatever reason, probably a mistake. They have a lot of issues with their website, honestly, where they make little mistakes, but sometimes they're happy mistakes. In this case, it was for me. I could finally get this leather on the 67, and I could get it quickly, so I went for it. It's expensive, but whatever, it was worth it. Don't regret it at all. This pair came out epic. I went with the Honey Vibram, which I'd always wanted to try and definitely want to do again. This is my only pair with it, though. I like that they did the kind of a work build, sort of Builder Pro-ish, with the logger heel counter and then the Nix logo stamped in. I think that's really cool. Pull loop, which I don't know. I don't hate them, but I wouldn't put them on any MTOs I would order anymore. You can see this will come out 8/23. So these were built in August, and I got them pretty quickly. It's elastic toe. This Wickett and Craig leather is pretty neat. The bridle, it wrinkles like more than some of the other leathers on 67. I think it's just a veg tan thing. It's kind of like a drier leather, but it's really hard too. Like listen to that. It's kind of like a beefy leather, very hard. I forget what they call that, to the temper or something. Like it has whatever. It's beefy. It's good stuff. It's very durable. No wonder they do like horse tack and stuff out of this. You always see bridle leather used for, a bridle, horse bridle or whatever. But it actually is weird. Like initially they were covered in water spots from, I don't know, you'd washing your hands, or even like somebody washing your hands at the sink and then it dripped down when you're grabbing the towel to dry your hands off in the kitchen, or, whatever, something spills or out at a restaurant. I was kind of very uneasy about these early on and didn't want to take them out in the rain because of that, because, it kind of looked like acne. There were little like, dots and dark stains all over the vamps. And it got to the point where it just was ridiculous. The vamps were just covered in little dark stains. So I just said, screw it. And I wore them out in the rain one day, walking the dog. And by the time I got back, the vamps were completely soaked, like completely saturated. And, talk about happy accidents. I kind of had hoped this would happen, but I didn't do that, by design. Like that wasn't my case. I just was wearing them out that day. And I think it wasn't even supposed to rain. It was just a drizzle, but it ended up raining pretty good. when they dried, you couldn't even see half the spots. So it like uniformly darkened the vamp and sort of the heel counter and a little bit of the quarters. And I was like blown away. So I was like, I think what you need to do if you ever buy this leather, or maybe any Wickett and Craig, is just wear them in the rain or soak them, and then it evenly darkens and discolors. It didn't darken them a lot, but there's no spots. And then, you know, I've gotten a few spots since then. I don't know if maybe this one never got out, or maybe I spilled something. There's a few of them, but it's like, it's not as obvious anymore, whereas I just noticed every time I wore them, there were more and more spots originally. And there's a little bit, it's hard to see. You won't be able to pick this up in the camera, but you could kind of see like a discoloration there from after I wore them in the rain, but like it's not, it's uniform. So I guess that's the best way to put it. So yeah, that would be my recommendation if you ever buy this leather is, I don't know, maybe just hose them down when you get them, or wear them on the first rain and then take the paint out of it, and then they end up looking dope. I think they've darkened a little bit. I've done Venetian shoe cream at least once, and then I did Smith's once. The Venetian shoe cream, I think I was just trying to see if it would help uniformly darken to get rid of the spots. It didn't do anything as far as that regard. So then I later did Smith's. That didn't work either, but the rain did it. So yeah. Oh yeah, so everyone says these wear down real fast, and it's sort of true. Like I said, I have a bunch of boots, rotate through them all, but I would say this heel is definitely wearing quicker on the corner than the black V100. Oh, and then this was something I think they started doing last year. They have issues stitching through Wickett and Craig, I think, and it tearing or something. So they don't stitch through the soles or something. Maybe it's I think they have to spray them down with water to not have sole stitching issues, and then doing that at Wickett and Craig obviously will stain them and darken them and then possibly piss off certain customers. So I think what I heard Shiler say, or one of them in one of the videos, is they just don't stitch through the soles anymore on Wickett and Craig, and maybe some of the other leathers that are sensitive to staining. I guess it's easier to stitch through just the vamp, midsole, and slip. It's probably where the stitching ends, and then they can just glue on, cement on the outsole. But yeah, these are really cool. Definitely one of my favorites. I would probably still say my Natural Dublin Nicks is my favorite pair of Nicks, but this is a real close second place. These are really cool, and they're very comfortable. Despite them being a more beefy leather, they're very comfortable. The honey Vibram is really nice. It's super bouncy and comfortable. And as usual, moderate heel is the way to go. I'm not into the high heels. I mean, I have a few pairs you've seen, and it works, but definitely, I wouldn't order another classic heel ever again, is what I've come to the conclusion of. It's not for me. Moderate heels look better and are more comfortable is really the important part, but I think they look better too. I wish they would do a 4-layer heel stack like whites, because that's like the perfection, where you have, it still looks reasonable and it's still very comfortable, but 3 layers, you know, maybe they think looks a little low. I think it looks good. It's comfortable, definitely more comfortable than the 5-layer. And then the 5-layer, you know, it kind of changes the look of the boot because it puts it more like this. I don't think that looks as good. I like the toe spring, and it's more obvious with the moderate heel. Stitching on this was really good. The only issue I think I saw was one of those boxes, or maybe both of the inner ones. No, this one. And this is like, I don't even care about it, but it's just an observation. That little stitch box is smaller than the other ones. The other ones, it goes further out, more like a rectangle, you could see. But the lines are really nice. You know, I'm sensitive to when they like have these really wonky stitches, but these are great. And I like how they kept the spacing. Some of them, you see the heel counter, it's just like 3 lines next to each other. I think it's supposed to look like this, where there's 2 lines and then one more separate, as sort of like a styling thing. But a lot of them you look at on their page ready to ship, they end up being all together. Yeah, this is a really cool pair of boots. Cheers.